Brenna Kiefner, thank you so much for joining us today. Well, breaking news, New Year's celebrations in New Orleans turned into tragedy overnight after a driver, police say, was, quote, hell-bent on carnage and rammed into a crowd at a high rate of speed, killing at least 10 people and injuring dozens more. Katie Weiss is in New Orleans with the latest.
Just hours into the new year, celebration turned to chaos in New Orleans after a truck plowed through a crowd on the city's iconic Bourbon Street.
He was hell-bent on creating the carnage and the damage that he did. It was very intentional behavior. This man was trying to run over as many people as he possibly could.
The incident unfolded shortly after 3 a.m. local time.
We heard loud banging sounds.
This witness did not want to be on camera.
We looked out the window, we noticed there was a lot of bodies laying on the ground.
Witnesses told me, because I was there just moments after this happened, and people were scared. They were terrified. The FBI says the suspect died after a firefight with police. The agency has taken the lead on the investigation and is looking into the incident as an act of terrorism.
The city of New Orleans was impacted by a terrorist attack.
The mayor warned people to stay away from the Bourbon Street area as the FBI investigated what appeared to be at least one improvised explosive device. The incident happened hours before the kickoff of a college football quarterfinal in the city's Superdome. Police said they're making sure the area is safe for the game. Katie Weiss, CBS News, New Orleans.
And now, your CBS 19 Weather Authority forecast from the Bright Star Care Charlottesville Weather Center.
The new year is starting off on a pretty active note in terms of weather, but it may not be in the way that you would expect. Currently, there is a high wind advisory in effect for the Blue Ridge Mountains and the Shenandoah Valley. This goes from now until 7 o'clock this afternoon, for winds gusting upwards of 55 plus miles per hour. Elsewhere in central Virginia, we could expect to see wind gusts upwards of 30 plus miles per hour. So certainly a pretty energetic day, to say the least. However, out of the weather stem camera at UVA on the lawn, bright blue skies all around. There are some fair weather cumulus clouds moving through, but otherwise I'm not expecting any sort of precipitation. And our current temperatures are starting off quite mild in the upper 40s and low 50s across the region. I'll detail when we can expect to see a little bit more rain in the 7-day forecast, along with a big temperature dive. All of that is coming up in just a little bit.
All right, Ben, thank you. Well, early voting is underway to fill the seat of a Virginia legislator. Voters living in the 10th district need to pick someone to finish Congressman-elect John McGuire's term in the state Senate. Today is the last day to register to vote or change your registration. Early voting ends on Saturday. People who requested an absentee ballot by mail can drop off their completed ballot at their local registrar's office. All absentee ballots must be postmarked on or before Election Day, which is January 7th. And with early voting wrapping up on Saturday, the first campaign finance reports for the special election in the 10th district were released. According to a statement, Democrat Jack Trammel says that he centered his campaign on Senate District 10 and the Commonwealth of Virginia, raising more than $40,000 in just a couple of weeks and focused on hiring local staff. The statement from his team goes on to say that his opponent, Luther Siffer's self-funded campaign, largely spent its resources on high-cost consultants and firms based out of state. In the release, Jack Trammel quotes, "Along with my team and our volunteers, I've been out across the district talking to voters at events, on their porches, and over the phone. It seems like my opponent is trying to buy this seat without actually doing the work." Trammel went on to say, quote, "We don't need another state senator only concerned with their own self-interest or ambitions. We need someone willing to do the hard work of improving the lives of the people in the 10th district." Senator Tim Kaine is celebrating this year's legislative accomplishments. He talked about the legislation that he helped pass in 2024 alongside fellow senators across the Commonwealth and the country.
This year I was able to pass several bills through both chambers of Congress, including the BOLD Act to help combat Alzheimer's disease, the Forgotten Heroes of the Holocaust Congressional Gold Medal Act, honoring diplomats who helped save Jewish people during World War II and the Holocaust, the Bridge for Workers Act to help more Americans find good-paying jobs, And alongside Congresswoman Jennifer Wexton, the national plan to end Parkinson's Act to help address Parkinson's disease.
Kaine also highlighted wins across the Commonwealth in 2024.
A $275 million investment in Micron's Manassas microchip processing facility, which will create over 1,000 jobs. $380 million in federal funding for the Port of Virginia, a new Topso manufacturing facility expected to bring more than $400 million investments and create at least 150 new jobs in Chesterfield County. Over $154 million in federal funding for affordable housing across the Commonwealth.
Kaine emphasized accomplishments made with the help of the Biden-Harris administration, including raising the age to buy tobacco to 21, expanding reproductive health care services, and the closure of the gun show loophole. It is 12:05, still ahead on the CBS 19 News at noon. We will have more on how to make your New Year's resolutions count right after a check on your forecast with Ben.
Some clouds are moving through the region, but I am expecting high pressure to take control. I'll detail what we can expect coming up in the 7-day forecast coming in a little bit.